Can I come in?
Yes.
Oh.
Hi.
My name's Dave Robinson, and
Hi, Dave.
I'm a sort of a volunteer, and I've had a stroke myself, and now I come around and talk to people who might be going down the same path or are going down the same path. And I noticed, Michelle, that you've been a patient here for a while.
I've been here for 2 weeks now. Yeah, 2 very worrying weeks actually. It's I've felt quite anxious while I've been here, and I haven't really had any visitors. I think you're my first visitor actually.
And is that the main worry, the lack of visitors, or is it other things compounding?
I worry that I'm the primary carer for my husband, and I don't know how I'll be when I go home. Have you had a stroke?
I've had a stroke, yes. Yeah.
How did you cope?
Well, I must say not all that well. I was pretty angry about it. I thought, why me? Why has this happened to me, and so on.
I felt that too, yeah.
And also the fact that there are people you care about, you can't do as much for them as you might have done before. That's your sort of situation. You're worried about when you finally go back home, how are you going to care for your partner?
I know how I did so much before. I did all the cooking, all the cleaning. I drove. He doesn't have good health himself, so I was in charge of the finances and everything, and I just can't see. I can't see how we'll cope. Our children, we have 2 children, they work full time, they have their own children, they lead very busy lives. So I just can't ask them for any help. And my husband, he can't do anything unless I help him.
Sounds like a bit of a double-barreled anxiety. Anxiety about your own health and anxiety about what you're able to do.
Very true, yeah.
Have you been able to explore any sources of help?
No, nothing yet.
What, you mean that there isn't anything, or you haven't had the chance to find?
I haven't spoken to anybody yet. Yeah, I haven't talked to anyone about. I haven't told anyone. I
see.
Yeah.
So that your husband, does he have any feeling that about expectations that you'll come back as a bright new penny, or?
Oh, he knows we can't cope. I think he's worried he'll have to go into a nursing home if I can't look after him. Yeah.
Maybe.
Too many changes so suddenly. Yeah. All in 2 weeks.
I can pick up your anxiety and your worry about the future. It may well be that if you talk to the social worker, they might have some ideas about assistance that could be available and so on. It's worthwhile exploring some possibilities. I know in my case that I was really worried too about what was going to happen, but it was a comfort to find out that there were agencies that would come in and clean the house, would come in and cook a meal, and so on.
Have you recovered then? Do you
Not
still
fully.
have long-term? It's been a while, has it?
Yeah.
Since you had your stroke.
I think that there are times when, because I can't play table tennis any longer, I feel a bit depressed about that. There are some activities that are just not. I did get my driving licence back, and that was a great comfort. But apart from that, there are some things that are just. I think it'll gradually get better, I hope. And,
I'd like to drive again. I don't think that that will happen very quickly. I've been told I have to not drive for 3 months, so we will need some. We need some help. Yeah, I think telling the staff that these are the concerns is really important. Yeah.
Well, I can understand your situation. I don't have a magic wand to wave to solve it, but I think that there are people around that are helpful if you can access their help.
Yeah.
And I hope that will happen for you.
It helps meeting someone who's had a stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that helps.
It's a sort of it's a roadblock, but it's not the end of the road. I suppose that's the way I like to put it.
Yeah.
But, so I hope that you do find some way of solving not only your own health problems, but also the problem of having a carer to look and so on.
Yeah, me too.
Is that enough?
Dave, I thought you were very, very, very caring and encouraging. And I like the way that you did mention to her about some other services, because she's so worried that she was going home with no help with her husband and the 2 children, and you did tell her that there are some outlets that she could go to. Maybe mention Silver Chain. And I like the way that you say that someone could come and help you clean your home and then do some cooking for you. And that probably make her feel better, that she's not really totally lost and there's no way out. So you did offer her, like, there is help somewhere. I like that, yeah.
How did you feel about it, Michelle? Was that okay for you?
I felt like you shared just the right amount of experience that you'd had to identify with what I was feeling without bogging me down in the details of your life or your stroke. Yeah, so I felt like the attention and focus was on me to help me. Yeah.
I got a bit worried that you were going to ask me, would I ring up and organise some of the help that you need?
That would have been a good educational question to ask.
Yeah, because that's always a risk that you can take.
What would you say?
Any other comments?
What would you say if she had have asked you to ring and...
Oh, well, it's possible that it's possible any patient, if you talk about assistance and so on, they could say, well, would you mind ringing up Hack or whoever it is and organising it or something like that, and then you become the carer.
How would you, what's the polite
what
way
would you
of,
say?
Sorry?
What's the polite way of saying no, I haven't got the authority to do that,
Refer to the social worker.
Refer to the social
Or
worker.
if I could have said to you, because I'm driving, my husband doesn't, I've got no one to take me home, can you take me home when I get discharged? Will you drive me? And that would probably happen too.
Yes.
I could imagine that would be one.
They feel
So what would your response be if she asked you whether you could take her home or, help with some driving, bring the children to school?
I think the sensible thing to do would be to say, look, I wouldn't mind doing that, but it's not really my role. And you should consult the hospital people about the possibilities of that sort of assistance.